Hello everyone, I'm Alex of Vending Machine Support, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set the price on a Dixie Narco 501E, 276E, as well as a 600E drink vending machine using the S2D control board but with the 4-button programming. Now I have a video that I'll link above where I show you how to set the price on an E-Series drink machine with the S2D control board, but it only used 2 buttons to program. This video is for the 4-button programming. You will typically find this type of control board or software on the Coca-Cola styled drink vending machines from Dixie Narco. So let's get started. Now before we jump in, if you'd like to help support the Vending Machine Support channel, I really appreciate it if you could hit the like and subscribe button. If you'd like to extend that support, in the description below, I have some affiliate links. For example, I currently have an affiliate link to the Nayax online store where you can purchase a credit card reader such as this VPOS Touch and other accessories. If you use the coupon code VMS at checkout, you'll receive a discount and I will be compensated slightly at no extra cost to you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the topic at hand. Now when it comes to programming the Dixie Narco E-Series drink vending machines with 4-button programming, it's actually a very simple process. Now I'm going to be using this Dixie Narco behind me here. This is an E-Series, but this is an 8 select and where I have buttons going across the front of the machine in a horizontal fashion. Your machine may have some buttons down the right-hand side. They may be 9, there may be 8. But we're going to be using selection buttons 1, 2, and 3, and 4 to navigate our menu system. Now on this particular machine, selection button 1 is over here on the top left-hand side. Button 1 will act as our cancel key. Button 2 will act as our up arrow. Button 3 is going to act as our down arrow. And button 4 is going to act as our enter key. So by using those combination of buttons, we can navigate the menu system and adjust the prices accordingly. Now the first thing we always need to do whenever we want to enter into service mode on a Dixie Narco is we have to press the service mode button. Now that button can be found on the inside of the main door. Usually going to be located on your control panel and you're going to be looking for a blue service mode button. Now you may have to move a harness out of the way to find that button, but you're going to find the button, you're going to press it 1 time, and when you press that button, you're going to have error show up on the display. Now, to navigate the menu, we're simply going to be using selection button 2 because that is our up arrow, or selection button 3 because that is our down arrow. So here I'm going to press the number 2 selection button until I find PASS because our price is set behind a password. So we're going to need to enter the password in order to get to the pricing menu. Now on these machines, the default password is 423 1. So by hitting a combination of button 4, button 2, button 3, and button 1 to enter that password, we'll be able to access the secondary menu where our pricing options are. So to do that, we first need to press selection button 4, and when we do that, the display is going to go blank, and then we're going to hit 2, then 3, then 1, and then to enter the password, we then have to come back and hit button 4. So I'm going to do that now. So if I hit selection button 4, screen's going to go blank. I'm going to hit button 2, button 3, button 1, and then button 4, and if I did it correctly, we'll have the word cash show up on our display. So we need to navigate to the pricing option, which is PRIC on the menu. So again, I'm going to press selection button 2 to navigate to that option. So hit button 2 until I find PRIC on the display. Now if I press selection button 4, I will enter the pricing menu, which I'll do here, selection button 4. And when I press the number 4 selection button, I have SPR1 on the display. Now yours may actually say PR1, and that means that your machine is currently in multi-price mode. Now what multi-price mode is, allows you to have a different price for every single selection buttons, with majority of people do that when they're running an E-Series drink machine since it can run different size products. So on this particular machine, I need to change this to the multi-price mode. So again, I know that I'm not in multi-price mode because I have SPR1, which is telling me that is single price mode. That means one price for everything in the machine. And I want to change that. So I need to exit price and go to the configuration option to be able to do this. To do that, I'm going to press selection button 1. It's going to bring me out back to the top level of the PRIC, and I'm going to press selection button 2 until I find CON, which is abbreviation for configuration. So I press selection button 2 until I find CON. Now here I'm going to press selection button 4 to enter, and here I have C10. Now configuration 1, C1, is where your single price and multi-price option is enabled or disabled. So we currently have multi-price disabled or single price enabled, and that's because we have a 0 after the C1. Now to enable multi-pricing, I'm going to press selection button 4, and I get a blinking 0. I'm going to make that a 1, turning it on. And then here, press selection button 2, and then here I have a blinking 1. I'm going to save that pressing selection button 4. And at this point, when I have C1, 1, and everything is solid, I know that I have now enabled multi-price mode. So now I need to make my way back to the pricing menu and then make those adjustments. So to do that, I'm going to press selection button 1 to exit. Brings me back to the top level of configuration, and I'll need to make my way back to the PRIC menu. I'm going to do by pressing selection button 3 to go backwards, and then here I have PRIC. Enter pricing by pressing selection button 4. And what I have here is I have PR1. Now that SPR1 is now removed, and all we have is PR. That stands for price 1. That's going to be the price for selection button 1. Now I can cycle to the different selections by hitting selection button 2 or 3 to go backwards to the different selection buttons that I want to change the price on. So let's set the price for selection number 1 to $1.25. I'm going to press the number 4 selection button to enter that. I currently have a price of $1. Now I'm going to press the number 2 selection button to get the price to $1.25. So the price will increase in 5-cent increments. So pressing selection button 2 like our up arrow, I'm going to keep holding it down until I get to $1.25. When I'm at the price that I want, I simply press selection button 4, and that saves it and brings us back to PR1. Now if I wanted to set the price to selection button 2 to be 75 cents, I just need to navigate to price 2. So once I have PR2 on the display, I'm going to press selection button 4 to enter, and here I currently have a price of $1. Now if I wanted to decrease this price down to 75 cents, I can press the number 3 selection button to go down, and I'm going to hold it until I get to 75 on the display. Now to lock the price in, I simply press the number 4 selection button. That brings me back out to PR2, and now my price for number 2 is set. Now a quick shortcut. We can set the price for everything at once and then go back and do an individual prices of selections that aren't at our common price. So for example, let's say most of my products in my machine are $2. I could go and set the entire machine to $2 and then go back to the selections that are not $2. To do that, we do have an all function. So if I press the number 3 selection button to go backwards, now if I keep going back until I get to all, ALL, on the display. Now here, if I enter this by pressing selection button 4, it allows me to set the price, whatever I set here, and apply it to all my selections. This is useful if you're first setting up your machine and you got a common price of $1.50, set the common price to $1.50 and then go back and do your individual prices. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to go ahead and press the number 2 selection button until I get to $1.50. And let's have $1.50 on the display. I press selection button 4, and now that price has been applied to all my selections to $1.50. Now when you're done pricing, you can simply close the door on the machine and put it back into sales mode, or if you have any other programming that you need to do, you can simply press the number 1 selection button to take yourself out of the price mode, and then it allows you to navigate the menu system to get to any other programming options you need to do. Now if you found that video useful, again, I appreciate if you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.